Everyone, welcome back to our channel Go for Agriculture. So today we're going to start the lecture 1 of Principles of Agricultural Economics. So in this lecture we're going to see the basic definitions of agricultural economics. So let's start with our lecture. So what is economics? Economics is a science that deals with production, exchange, consumption of various commodities in economic system. So we can say it shows how scarce resources can be used to increase the wealth and the human welfare. So it says that scarcity of resources make us to choose the alternative resource. So see, for example, you're a farmer and you really want to grow either paddy or sugarcane, but due to the scarcity of the available resource like the irrigation water, okay, so due to the scarcity of that irrigation water, you has to choose another crop. So it can be a wheat. So here what happened? Due to the scarcity of that irrigation water, you've chose another crop. It means due to scarcity of resource, you have to choose the alternative resource. Next is emergence of economic problems. So basically these economic problems, they emerge due to the existence of unlimited human wants and the scarcity of the available resources. So see, for example, if you have a new phone in your hands right now, and like after 1 year another new phone with the new features has launched, so what would you do? In your mind, another want has produced, like, yes, I want that phone. So like successfully you have got that phone, and again like after 1 year another phone is launched. So again you will have a feeling like, yes, I want that phone. So this means your want is not stopped. So even though if you had a want and with your effort you've satisfied it, again your new want is emerged. So this means your want, effort and satisfaction is a cycle process. So this is why human wants are always unlimited. So due to this there will be a scarcity of available resources. Next is definitions of economics. So many scientists, they gave different definitions of economics, like some considered economics as wealth, some as growth, some as scarcity, some as wealth. Okay, so let's see. So the word economics was derived from two Greek words, oikos and neimon. So oikos means a house and neimon means to manage. So this means how would you manage your household, like with the limited funds available. See, like for example, you'll get a salary and literally you would divide some part of your salary for the household purpose. So this means managing your household with the limited funds available. Next, if we see the definitions, Adam Smith. So this man, he considered economics as wealth. So, and he defined economics as science of wealth. This means like for example, if you have a house worth of, like for example, 30,000, just for instance. So if you have a house worth of 30,000 and the car worth of like 20,000, and remaining some of the income you have, and the total income would be like for example 1 crore. Okay, so this 1 crore is your worth. So, and due to the credit card bills and the loans and the debts you have to pay, at last in your hands you have only 50,000. And what about the remaining money? You gave that money to the economy of the country. Like you gave that money to the country itself, like, here, take this money, just build your economy. You really didn't want to give, but these credit card bills and the debt, they made you to give. So this means you're like an individual of the society, but you want to promote only your own gain, because you have to pay those bills. It's a rules. Okay, so these credit card bills or the debts, we call them as invisible hand, because they are making you to promote the like the interest of the society. Like they are helping you to build the economy of the country, these invisible hands, even though you have no real intention to promote the society's interest. So this is why Adam Smith called economics as wealth. Only with the help of wealth only the economy of the country can be built. Okay, next is welfare. So this Alfred Marshall, he considered economics as welfare, because he said economics is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life, that is economics in the aspect of human life. See, like for example, based on the income we can see this man is poor, this man is like middle class, and this man is rich. So this economic made this human life like we can distinguish the human life based on their economic wealth. So so, so this is why this Alfred Marshall considered this economics as the study of mankind, the ordinary business of life. And also, this economic studies both individual and social actions aimed at promoting economic welfare of the people. And also, Marshall he makes a distinction between two types of things, that is material or the tangible things. Second is immaterial or the intangible things. So basically, material or the tangible things means which we can touch or we can feel, like laptop, phone, book, pen, anything. And immaterial or the intangible things means you can't touch or feel them. Like for example, customer care service is an intangible thing. It's the best example. You can't touch it or you can't feel it, right? Next, next is scarcity. Okay, so this Lionel Robbins he defined economics as scarcity because he said ends refer to human wants. It means human wants, they don't have ends at all, they're literally unlimited. And also resources on the other hand, they are literally limited or scarce in supply. And also the scarcity of a commodity if its demand is greater than the supply. So we can say, like for example, this commodity is scarce. When we'll say this commodity is scarce means when its demand is greater than supply. Why there is demand is greater than supply? Because there are unlimited human wants. If there are unlimited human wants, then there will be scarcity of a commodity. Okay, and also if there's a scarce of a commodity, we can literally replace or we can use the alternative commodities. This is the main thing in the human wants we have to adjust. Next is growth. So basically this Professor Samuelson he defined economics as growth. So he said the study of how men and society choose with or without the use of money or to employ scarce productive resource which would have alternative uses to produce the various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption. So he basically says that production, distribution, consumption, they help in increasing the economic growth. Like even though if there is a scarcity of a commodity, we can literally produce it, distribute it to the humans just to increase the economic. So this is what Professor Samuelson told, and of all the growth definitions, this Samuelson's growth definition appears to be most satisfactory. Okay. Next is scope of economics. So economics is considered as a science and an art. So if we see as a science, see like for example, so this basically economics is a branch of knowledge where the various facts relevant they can be collected, classified, and they can be analyzed. And also we can know the motives of the individual or the business firms if we measure them in terms of money. So this is why we call economics as a science. Like we know what is it, what is the problem. This we'll call it as economics as a science. If we see economics as a social science, okay, see like for example, if you're having a chips, like if you're eating a chips, and do you know for making one packet of chips, like many labors were involved in it, right? So if we say like because of chips many labors were dependent on your want. Since chips is your want, so on your want many individuals are dependent. So we can say process of satisfying wants is not an individual process because many labors were involved in it. We can say it's a group or a behavior of men in groups. So this is why we call economics as a social science. Next is economics as an art. See, we all know arts, like our science teacher, she teaches us what to know and how to do it. So like this only economics is a art. See, I say economics as a science and art because see, for example, if there's a decline in the economic growth of a country, so first of all you would know why this has happened. like you will basically measure it in terms of money, like how much economic growth is there. I mean, like how much economic growth has declined. You literally measure it in terms of money. We'll call it as science. And if we say in terms of art, you will come up with some strategies to increase it. So this is an art. So economics is a science and an art. So if we say economics as a positive science or a positive economics, so this is because so so it is called as a positive science because it describes what is good, like basically it describes the uh, results of the economic analysis of a problem. See, like for example, if there's a 12% of the unemployment in the country, so like in a survey it is proven that, see, this is an example. In a survey it is proven that there is 12% unemployment in the country. So this 12% unemployment in the country is a result. So it's a positive science. If we see in case of normative or the negative kind of thing, it makes a distinction between the good and the bad one. So in case of positive, we said yes, there is only 12% unemployment in the country. But if we say in case of normative, there is 12% unemployment, we should come up with some strategies, to fill the gap. So this is the difference between positive and normative. Positive only aims at results, but the normative aims at it. It makes a distinction between a good and bad. Okay, next, methodology of economics. So basically there are two methodologies: deductive method and inductive method. So deductive method means it discerns from the general to particular. So basically it starts from certain principles like that are self-evident or based on a strict observation. See, like for example, we all know that traders, they earn profit from their business. So it's a general statement, and we can literally conclude it without any proofs. So this is a deductive method. It these are really self-evident, and they do not require any kind of a long process of analyzing them. Since we know traders earn profit in their business, so no need to collect it, analyze it, and do the deep investigation in that. But in case of inductive method, we should do the deep investigation, like we should collect the data, analyze the data, and we should come up with some important conclusions. See, like for example, we can collect the data on consumption of poor, middle, and rich income groups of people. If we collect them, classify them, and we analyze them, we can draw some conclusions out from the results. Because we don't know, like based on the based on the incomes, we have to analyze it, like who are poor, who are middle, and who are rich. But in case of traders, no need to analyze it, because we know they will earn the profit from their business. So this is difference between deductive and inductive method. So both are really useful in the economic analysis. Next is subject matter of economics. So basically there are two approaches. One is traditional approach and second is a modern approach. So first we'll see traditional approach. So in this we have consumption. First is consumption. So what is consumption? It means the satisfaction of human wants through the use of goods and services. And the production is, so in order to satisfy the human wants, the goods should be produced. So that production of goods is called as production. So you all know for production many resources are required, like land, labor, capital, organization, they are required. So this is production. Exchange means we produce goods not only for self-consumption but also to either buy or sell. So this buying or selling process is called as exchange. If we see distribution, so we all know, like for the production process we should have many resources like land, labor, capital, organization, right? So for these production resources, they will earn their salary, like land, like the landowner gets the rent, and the laborers get the wage, and the capitalist is given with the interest, and the entrepreneur is rewarded with a profit. So this rewarding the resources for the production process is called as distribution. And if we see public finance, so it studies how the government gets money and how it spends it. So this is the public finance. So these are the basic traditional approaches like consumption, production, exchange, distribution, and public finance. Next are the modern approaches. So there is microeconomics and macroeconomics. Okay, so basically microeconomics, it studies the behavior of any particular decision making, like like in case of household or a small business process. If we see in case of macroeconomics, it will tell us the behavior of the whole economic system. So like for example, if you study a single farmer, like if you go to a single farmer and you ask about his land, income and etc production process, that is microeconomics. But with the help of the single farmer, or doing the interview of that single farmer, you would not know the position of the whole farmers in the country. For that, you should do the macroeconomics. So if you know the only a single term, or the about a single farmer or a single business or a single household, it is microeconomics. Whereas if you study on the whole economic system like GDP, GNP and the general price level, etc., that is macroeconomics. So we'll call microeconomics as a price theory, whereas macroeconomics as income theory. Okay, so this is the difference between microeconomics, and this is the modern approach to study the economics. So this is it, guys. In today's lecture we have seen the basic definitions of the agricultural economics. If you have any doubts, you can go back to the lecture and listen again. So thank you for watching. If you have any queries, you can ask us on our Instagram page, and also you can post in the comment section. And also you can download this PPT in the link given below. So if you like this video, you can subscribe the channel, you can like the channel, and also you can share this video with your friends. So in the next lecture, I'll come back with another basic and important terms in the agricultural economics. So till then, stay tuned. Take care. Bye bye.